News Radio, Wham 1180 welcomes you to the Seniors Rock Show, presented by Effortlessly Healthy Meals. The Seniors Rock Show is a lively weekly discussion shining a bright light on aging with fun, entertaining, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now, live from the News Radio Wham 1180 studios in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Good morning. It's me, Joanna. It's funny how I always come in at that exact point, isn't it? Well, that's because Pam's pointing at me. Pam is our studio producer, and I am here with her and estate planning attorney Mike Robinson this morning. And he is with the law office of Michael Robinson. And Mike, how you doing this morning?
Happy Saturday, Joanna. I'm doing great. What a fabulous morning.
It sure is. And I'm enjoying it myself. And folks, if you're out there, outside, inside, wherever you are, we are live today, so you can call us, and Pam will answer the phone if you do. It's 585-222-1180. If you have a question for a guest or want to make a comment, we'd love to hear from you. So, we're advocates for all adults and their families, and it's our mission to bring you important information, entertainment, and fun, just like that guy just said, every Saturday morning. We want you to tune in and enjoy, Saturday morning. Remember, like when you were a kid, you guys, like when you watched cartoons, just enjoy it and have fun. And I hope that you do for the next hour. And you never know what topics are going to come up. And something else that you never know when it's going to come up is stress. And it can come up anytime, anywhere. And most of us have experienced stress at some point in our lives, right? So, um, stress that affects a caregiver, someone who's caring for an older adult, that is very real too. And sometimes it's different than anything they've ever felt before in their lives, even if they've had stress. So, we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about ways to manage caregiver stress. And that's the topic of guest Jen Schwetzer today, stress management for those taking care of older adults. Now, I saw Jen speak at a great meeting, a lunch meeting this past year, and I really enjoyed her talk. She's very good, and she talked about work-life balance actually at that luncheon, and that's another subject we'll have her back to talk about. But today, again, she's going to talk about caring for older adults. Then we're going to have Peter Gordon from Indoor Air Professionals. He's going to jump on the mic to remind us that it's time to clean those air ducts before we close up for the winter. And we're going to wrap up the hour like we do every week with some fun, some places to go, and people to see. So you'll be smelling the cinnamon and apples. We went out to the farm market this past week, got some pies. So fun. And then speaking of fun, my co-host Mike Robinson is here. And although estate planning isn't exactly a fun topic, he does know how to spice things up for the fall. So what's on your mind this week, Mike?
Joanna, yes, we'll spice things up. But the first thing I want to say is I really am looking forward to Jen Schweitzer's talk. And folks, worth listening to. I can tell you, Joanna, I obviously what I do, I work with a lot of people who are caregiving for an older adult, whether a parent or a spouse. It is tremendously stressful. It can impact the caregiver's health. So looking forward to some important points from Jen. But another thing I wanted to talk about today, one of the significant purposes in estate planning is to make things easier for your family upon your death or incapacity. Now, part of that, of course, is creating and executing the appropriate legal documents, but there are some important non-legal things that we can do that will benefit our family as well. And I know a couple of months ago, for example, we talked about, decluttering. Just getting rid of things that ultimately are going to need to be gotten rid of, and not leaving that burden for your family, especially when it's in a disorganized fashion. But another thing we can do is financial decluttering, and specifically consolidating financial accounts. So, for example, we encounter situations where someone has passed away, or they're incapacitated, and now we're needing to deal with different assets, whether it's a Medicaid eligibility situation or just regular management. And very often people will have multiple stock accounts. Sometimes they even hold stock certificates, which I will tell you is about the worst way to hold your securities when it comes to incapacity management or administering an estate. But when people hold multiple stocks, and I'm not suggesting you shouldn't. In fact, if you're going to be investing, diversification is extremely important. But there's going to be separate transfer agents involved, or even if all of the stocks are with the same transfer agent. Every time we have to deal with that asset, there's a separate set of forms. There are medallion signature guarantees that need to be obtained. It is a very complex and a very stressful situation and a very frustrating situation for the family. So one of the things I always encourage our clients to do is to consolidate, move those stocks into a single custodial account so that there is only one account that has to be managed. It's not difficult to do. You just need to work with an appropriate financial professional to help you do that. Yes, there's DIY options available too. As you know, I'm a proponent of working with a professional. That way, things are going to be done correctly, and you're going to get the best benefit there. Related is bank accounts. It's always interesting to see people who have accounts at three, four, sometimes five or more different banks or credit unions. There again, we have the same issue of when there's an incapacity, when there's a death, we have to get in touch with and deal with, provide appropriate documentation to each of those separate financial institutions. And once again, it can be a lot of legwork for the family, a lot of frustration, because oftentimes it requires multiple trips. They all have different forms that have to be completed differently, different requirements. So there again, I always encourage people, let's consolidate and get everything into one financial institution. And Joanna, I know that one reason some people will give to me as to why they have accounts at different banks is they're concerned about their FDIC coverage. Right? So if the bank were to fail, are their deposits going to be properly covered? And what the FDIC is, that's Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. I think most people are familiar with that. If a bank fails, your deposits are insured up to a certain amount, and that certain amount is the default is $250,000. But when the accounts are in a trust, and as you know, we utilize trust frequently in estate planning. When those bank accounts are in the name of a trust, you have enhanced FDIC coverage up to as much as 1,250,000 per bank. So for most people, the FDIC issue is not a reason to have accounts at multiple banks. If we've got the accounts properly titled in trust name, most folks don't have 1,250,000 in cash sitting in the bank. So that's
Really?
usually pretty well sufficient for coverage.
Yeah, I think we'd be fine with that. Hey, you always give us such great legal advice, and Mike Robinson, I appreciate that. I just want you to know that, and I like that. You do that whenever you can, almost every week, folks, when he's here. And estate planning attorneys and financial planners do go together, right? Like salt and pepper, Mike, huh? And yeah, people think that if you have one or the other, you're all good, but no, you need to utilize the professional ism and the experience of both to work, and they can work together for you. Now, I have a question. Do you and the financial planner, do you actually do execute all of the steps that it takes? Because I can't imagine trying to move things from bank to bank.
We do our best. There's so much we can do on our end, but again, as you indicated, It needs to be a team effort, and everybody on the team's got to do their job.
Yeah, and that's gonna benefit your whole family, folks. We're always talking about it's a gift to them to do these things beforehand. That's why I'm constantly trying to talk about, weeding things out and getting down to the basics so that you don't have to leave those, that mess for your family and it's all good stuff. Anyway, thank you again. We are going to be going to break now, but when we come back, we're going to have Jen Schweitzer. She's here, and her company is Kindfulness Coaching, and you're going to find out why it's kind when you come back. Stay right with us.
Hi, this is Shayna Cesaro, owner of Effortlessly Healthy Meal Delivery Service. Let's talk about drinking water. Drinking water is so very important for a healthy lifestyle. Hydration can boost your immune system, give you improved energy, and help with all of your organ functions. No, drinking a soda does not count as water intake. Water is water, and every person, especially a healthy senior, should make sure that they drink enough water. Fun fact is, men aged 51 and older should drink about 13 cups a day, and women aged 51 and older should drink about 9 cups. Grab yourself a great water cup, like a big Stanley, and carry it around with you throughout the day and keep hydrated. That's what I do.
This motivational minute is brought to you by Effortlessly Healthy Meals. Enjoy fresh, chef-prepared meals delivered to your door with weekly changing menus. Visit ehmeals.com and live effortlessly healthy.
I'm not waiting on a lady. I'm just waiting on a friend. I'm just waiting on a friend.
And welcome back to the Seniors Rock Show. Jen Schweitzer is a licensed social worker and coach. She's also a foster parent. And Jen brings a wealth of experience and dedication to guiding individuals toward achieving their goals and finding balance in their lives. As the founder of Kindfulness Coaching, she offers tailored services designed to help foster parents and professionals manage stress, amplify their voices, and thrive. Today, her topic is stress management for those taking care of older adults. A very important topic. I'm excited to hear about it. Welcome to the Seniors Rock Show, Jen Schweitzer.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
And we are so happy to have you here. As I mentioned earlier, Jen, I saw you at a great meeting and I was impressed with the topic that you talked about that day. And this one is super important, stress management for people taking care of older adults. I think everyone listening has probably been touched by that at some point. So I have the first basic question, though. If there's anyone out there that never thought they felt stressed, how do you know when you are? How do you know when you're stressed?
Yeah, such a great question. I think a lot of times our body tells us first, and a lot of times we ignore that. And so if your body is telling you maybe, you're getting frequent stomach aches, headaches, you're always feeling tired or fatigued, I think those are definitely signs that, something might be going on and to pay attention to what your body is telling you. Also, the idea of struggling with decisions and just, you know, feeling like you're going through your day just on autopilot, not really like finding that joy anymore. So listening to those cues, listening to those signs is so important because usually you do have those signs and symptoms that something is wrong and that you're feeling a little bit of stress or overwhelm.
That makes sense. Now, okay, so if you feel any of those, not all of those things, or one of those things, or obviously listen to your gut, like we say most of the time with everything. What
Yeah.
can you do? What's the first step then, Jen? What do you do about it if you're worried you have stress?
Yeah, so I think the first step is always identifying it because, again, so many times we ignore those signs and we just say, oh, everything's fine. I'm just going to keep going. So, honestly, that first step is really acknowledging, hey, I've got a lot on my plate. I have a lot going on right now. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. And just to acknowledge and recognize that, hey, I might need a little bit of support around this is the most important piece because without recognizing it, it's really, really hard to do something about it. So, first putting it out there, like, yes, I'm stressed. That's step number one. And then it's like, okay, well, now the ball is in my court. What am I going to do about it? How am I going to have better control over this? And one of those most important pieces is taking care of yourself. Finding those nuggets of time through each day that you're going to be able to devote to just yourself. Really focusing on how can I improve this situation.
And, Jen, taking care of yourself, I know from dealing with clients and others, that's a struggle for a lot of caregivers, and they
Yeah.
feel they're being selfish. Tell us why it is important, if you're a caregiver, to take care of yourself.
Yeah, and I think that is so important because if we're taking care of someone else, either personally or professionally, we feel like we are, taking time away from them or that person, that client, that family member, and putting it on ourselves. And so a lot of times, it does come off as, oh, I feel selfish for doing that. But it's actually the opposite because if you are taking care of yourself, you're showing up in a different way for your clients, for your family members, for your friends. You're showing up giving 100%. And when you're not taking care of yourself, that 100%, it just depletes and depletes and depletes. And so you are doing a disservice to, the people that you are taking care of when you're not taking care of yourself.
And that is so true. Jen, what are some simple tips for implementing self-care?
Yeah, and a lot of people start to think of, oh, well, I don't have the money to go get a massage or go to the spa for the day, or I don't have time to, take a bubble bath. That's not what self-care is all about. And so really kind of thinking about what is it that I enjoy doing? How do I like taking care of myself? Maybe it's just, a 15-minute walk in the morning. Maybe it's just getting outside. Maybe it's, reading a couple of pages of a book, a podcast, doing some meditation, making sure at least 15 to 30 minutes a day are carved out for just you. And that could be just, walking away from your computer, to eat your lunch. It's the small things that you can implement in every single day. They don't need to cost money. They don't need to be a lot of time. It's just, what can I do to make sure I'm getting a little bit of time to nourish me?
Wow, great tips because you know what, Jen, I think a lot of folks, especially older folks, that we were brought up not to be
Mhm.
selfish and sometimes we associate those things with, to take a bath during the day. What? It's like we were brought up to work hard and keep working. So these
Yep.
are wonderful tips. Thank you, Jen. Turn stress into strength, folks, and contact Jennifer at Kindfulness Coaching. And you can find her at kindfulnesscoaching.com. We'll have her back again. Wonderful job. Stay tuned now for more ways to keep your home performance top notch and breathe easy with Indoor Air Pros. Peter Gordon joining us next on Seniors Rock Radio.
Hi, this is Shayna Cesaro, owner of Effortlessly Healthy Meal Delivery Service. Let's talk about your brain. Use your brain so you don't have to lose your brain. It is just as important to move your brain as it is to move your legs. Don't stop learning and mentally challenging yourself. My grandma used to love doing the crossword in the newspaper and all of the jumbles. And my grandfather never misses the news and reads literally all day so he keeps his mind going. You want to stay sharp for your family and especially your grandkids if you have any. So make sure every day that you read, do a puzzle, or have an intellectual conversation with a friend. Use that mind, baby.
This motivational minute is brought to you by Effortlessly Healthy Meals. Enjoy fresh, chef-prepared meals delivered to your door with weekly changing menus. Visit ehmeals.com and live effortlessly healthy.
Must be getting early. Clocks are running late. Paint by number morning sky. Looks so phony. Dawn is breaking.
Welcome Welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. We're having a good time here today, and now we have Peter Gordon with us, and he's always a good guy to talk to and get information from, and he's fun too. So he says making people's lives healthier and more comfortable is a nice profession to be in, and Peter enjoys teaching others from his experience and expertise, like he does when he comes on the show, and he will today, in getting cleaner indoor air. As we get ready for the change of seasons, and we're there now, closing our windows again, we asked Peter back to remind us all about the health benefits of clean indoor air. Welcome back, Peter.
Hey, good morning. Thanks so much, Joanna and Mike.
Hey, you're working all day Saturday, so we're glad you're here with us to clear some things up before you get too busy. And I'm going to ask you one quick, fast thing. What are the main causes of indoor air pollution? That's the first question.
All right. Well, as you know, I'm a hardcore constitutionalist. So let's start with we the people. Okay. We the people shed 50 million dead skin cells per person per
Oh
day.
boy, collectively, that sounds frightening.
Yeah, but besides that, it's important for people to know that we clean new build homes every week. A new build home starts with, it takes 25 to 35 wonderful subcontractors to build a home. And at the end of the day, all the carpet fibers, drywall dust, especially grout, you name it, gets in there. And even in a new build, 1 in every 10, we find a dead mouse, bird, or squirrel because ductwork is somewhat leaky because of the way the cold air returns are just panned in, and it's easy for critters, mice, and birds to get in there during the construction process or anytime. So that's how they get into duct systems. And then there's a whole host of other things, on the outside. There's, diesel particulate, just regular, exhaust from vehicles, pollens and dirt because we open windows and doors on the shoulder seasons. And then there's cleaning chemicals in our house. So those are the main things that will cause indoor air pollution.
Wow. Well, I know why I chose you guys, and I think you should tell the listeners how Indoor Air Pros gets out up to 99%, pretty much everything that's the things that you just talked about, that contamination, when a lot of other companies only get half that.
Yeah, well, it goes back to 32 years ago. We met these guys from Sweden that had this unique technology that scrapes and blasts all 4 sides of a rectangle or 360 degrees of the round ductwork. Okay. And so normal or duct cleaning outside of indoor air, which only gets like 30 to 40%, it's funny because they'll use a similar system. It's an air compressor, but the air compressor is the size that would drive a nail gun, blow up balloons for your grandkid's birthday or that. And our compressor will drive 2 jackhammers that you'll see out on the 390. And the nozzle's like a turbine on a jet engine. So
wow,
and it's the only system specified by engineers for use in hospitals, which is given us claim to do all the hospitals, schools, and as well as the U.S. Navy.
Yeah, I was impressed with that too. And I was also impressed that you gave me a break to do it for the first time. And are you still offering an incentive for first-time air duct cleaning?
Yeah, well, especially, I mean, we realize that inflation is real, it's hitting hard. So we want to offer your listening audience $175 off as a first-time customer. Now, some of them might be repeats, and then they should have received a postcard in the mail, which may or may not get them more because it's a percentage that we've done before here.
Great, very fair. And yeah, I was very impressed with your guys. And we did post some things this week, folks. If you go to Facebook and to the Seniors Rock Radio page, you're going to see some really, really unbelievable things that have come out of some an air duct that Peter knows the person, right? It just happened
my
this past week.
grandkids. I was shocked.
Oh, I wasn't going to say it was a family member.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like pictures are floating around every day, but we show you all the contamination that comes out.
Yeah,
and
there was a curler in there. like from
Oh,
the old days, like, like one of those plastic curlers. I don't
yeah.
even know if people that are listening will
Did
remember that.
did you see all the toys too? I don't have to buy
Yeah.
new toys for Christmas, you know.
Obviously, the kids are throwing things down into the air ducts.
Yeah.
We used to do that with the laundry chute. That was a big thing for us from the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to your stuff because you also have air purifiers. Tell us about that medical grade air
Yeah,
purifier.
so since COVID, everybody has probably heard of a mask. I'm kidding, man. We know about masks. That's like
Yeah.
putting up a chain link fence to keep mosquitoes out when it comes to particles that are as small as a virus. But we have a product line called Healthway, and they're 40 times more efficient than HEPA filters. 40 times. That's 4,000%. So how do you get that number? HEPA filters go down to 0.3 microns. A virus particle is 0.08 to 1.7, so it misses part of that. And ours goes down to 0.007 microns. So it's the 0.007 divided by 0.3 gets you 4,000% more efficient. So what I'm telling you is that HEPA filters are better than nothing, but they're, not the latest and greatest compared to what we have.
Yeah. And Peter, do you also have a discount on the medical grade air purifier?
Yeah, and there's two of those. There's one that covers 1,200 square feet, which is 350 off. And then they make a unit that fits right on your furnace, and that one is $500 off. But that requires an install. That's, a sizable project, a nice home improvement. But there isn't anything more efficient for air purification on the planet. It's a must for people that are battling cancer because of compromised immune systems and everything like that.
Excellent, Peter. I love the information you give us, and I also love those discounts. So, folks,
Yeah.
he's going to be there all day. We're going to have to go now, but thanks for joining us, Peter, and reminding us how important clean indoor air is. Folks, give him a call. He's working all day. He's a hard worker.
All right.
585-427-8020. 585-427-8020, and it's extension 303. Make sure you give him a call. What's up outside
right.
anyway? We'll tell you next on Seniors
All right,
Rock.
go Bills.
Go Bills.
An hour now. This is Joanna, and I am the host of the Seniors Rock Radio Show. I'm here with my co-host, estate planning attorney Michael Robinson, and we've been enjoying some time today with a couple of guests who were terrific. Thank you to our guests, Jen from Kindfulness Coaching and Peter from Indoor Air Pros, and of course, Mike Robinson too. And, we have a lot of great guests on, and next week, we will have two more, and that'll be Agape Physical Therapy's George Collins. Now, he's been on before. Golfers, listen up. He's a Titleist Performance Institute certified physical therapist. That was a mouthful, but he's going to be great. They have a golf simulator at a couple of those locations for Agape. So you want to check that out if you're a golfer or maybe want to be. And then we're going to have a cast member next week too from West Side Story. And that is the next big show in the Broadway and Brighton series. And that's at OFC Creations Theater Center in Winton Place. And we might be giving away some tickets to that. So check that out too. Mike, what do you got going on?
Well, I mean, it's just a spectacular autumn day. I don't know that you could ask for much better. And so
Amazing.
great day to get out and do something outdoors. There's high school sports going on. We got the agricultural fair at Genesee Country Village, Harvest Hootenanny in the South Wedge. You head down
Wait,
to the
say that
South
again. I
Wedge,
just like the name.
the Harvest Hootenanny. And I think that's an all ages event. It goes into the evening, so there's things for the kids to do as well. I think I mentioned, Joanna, to you earlier, tomorrow at the public market is Italian Heritage Day.
Mhm.
So I have Italian heritage. I might be tempted to go check that out.
There's some good
And
food there.
absolutely. And tonight, because it is so clear, we ought to be able to see the Northern Lights. So
What
if you can,
time?
well, it's usually sometime between midnight and 2 a.m. So
Right.
it's one of those things that either you're staying up or you got to set the alarm.
I wish we could set the alarm for when it goes, if it actually is in the air and then just jump out of the bed and run outside. But yeah, staying up that late is very difficult at this point in my life.
Nah. Well, you can always set the alarm.
Pam, do you stay up that late? You're younger.
I do. Yeah, I'm more of a night owl than a morning person. So
Wow. Wow.
I
I
can do
can't
okay
even
with the late
fathom it
nights. It's
anymore.
more so the early mornings that are tough for me.
Wow. I
All
have
right.
to
Well,
tell
take
you though, real
pictures
quick,
for us, Pam.
I know some people have mentioned to me as they got older, it's harder to sleep. I'm taking magnesium supplements now, and I'm telling you, it has helped. So just a little tip there.
Very good.
I mean,
Very good.
talk to your doctor, of course. But that was from my doctor's advice, and I'm fascinated that I have been sleeping better. So that's worth telling folks about, right?
Absolutely. And if you get out, get some good fresh air, a little exercise, that'll help you sleep as well. Hey, I should
Mhm.
give a shout out to the McQuaid Knights. They kept their undefeated season alive with a victory over Aquinas last night. My dad went to Aquinas. He played football there. I went to McQuaid, of course, played football there. So whenever McQuaid and Aquinas are playing, we have a little back and forth. So I got the better. I got the better this time around.
It's fun. I think that that's a fun tradition to have a little, competition in the family.
For
Do you
sure.
now? Is he a Bills fan?
Oh yes. Oh
Okay, that works
yes.
then.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think he's calmed down by now from Sunday night's game. So we'll see.
I felt bad for you guys. Pam, you were really good last week, by the way. Somebody commented on your take on the show or on the game. So I just wanted to mention that.
Oh,
Good
thank
job. Do
you.
you have anything to say this week?
I don't know. There's a lot of injuries, but
Uh-oh.
I'm excited to see Diggs versus Allen. I think it'll be sad to see them on opposite sides of the field, but it'll be a cool game. I'm excited to watch. Hopefully the Bills can pull through this week.
Yeah. Well, everyone will be rooting for that. So yes, yes. And Mike, what else?
Hey, yeah, I'll be watching, of course, as well. As Peter said, go Bills, and just hey, everybody, have a great weekend. Enjoy this great fall weather, and as always, be well and be kind.
Thanks for joining us, folks. Please come back next week. We start at 11 every Saturday. We are live and we are on WHAM 1180 and the iHeartRadio app. If you so happen to be out enjoying the outdoors that we keep telling you to do. And stay tuned here because we have a new show coming up right after us. And I want to say congrats to the Crime Dog. They are two retired law enforcement officers that are going to follow us every week. I wish them well. And I think you should stay tuned for that and enjoy that. We need some feedback from folks like that. So enjoy your weekend. Have a wonderful day. Get out, get some sunshine, and never, ever, ever forget that seniors rock.